The Big Reunion.
The Big Reunion is a British reality documentary series that aired on ITV2 from January 31, 2013 until March 28, 2013. The show follows 6 chart-topping groups that have reformed for the show. 5, 911, Atomic Kitten, Bewitched, Honeys and Liberty 10 were big names in the UK pop music scene between mid to late 1990s and early 2000s, and the programme follows the bands as they reunite for the first time in a decade and go through their 2 weeks of intensive rehearsals before finally stepping back on stage for a comeback performance. Blue were later added to the comeback gig as well. The Big Reunion proved to be an unexpected hit for ITV2. The first episode brought in 1.2 million viewers, becoming ITV2's highest-rated premiere in 5 years, and the show went on to achieve over 1 million viewers every week, making it the third most popular ITV2 show behind Celebrity Juice and The Only Way is Essex. Due to the success of the show, a second series is a possibility. Some bands which fans would like to see reunite in the next series include All Saints, Eternal, S Club 7, Big Bruvas, Busted, Cleopatra and A1.
Production. Conception.
On October 18, 2012, it was announced that pop groups 5, 911, Atomic Kitten, Bewitched, Honeys and Liberty 10, who were big names in the UK pop music scene in the mid to late 1990s and early 2000s, would be reuniting for an ITV2 documentary series entitled The Big Reunion, followed by a comeback performance at some point in 2013.
Personnel.
Angela Jine, ITV's Director of Digital Channels, and Katie Thorogood, ITV's Factual and Daytime Commissioner, ordered The Big Reunion. ITV Studios' Kevin Lane acts as series producer, while creative director Michael Kelpie and Phil Mount act as executive producers. Kelpie said, "To reunite these bands, tell the stories of what has happened to them since their heydays and follow them as they prepare to step back on the stage for the first time in a decade is a dream come true." Jine added, "We are thrilled to bring the stories of these pop groups up to date. A lot has happened in the time these bands have been apart, marriages, divorces and changes in careers, and who knows quite what will happen when they reunite." The show is narrated by former Live and Kicking presenter Andy Peters. During rehearsals for their comeback performance, Paul Domain acted as the band's choreographer, while Evie Burnett, who formerly worked on The X Factor and currently works on The Voice UK, acted as their vocal coach.
Series overview.
Initial filming for the show, featuring the members of each band telling their individual stories and later meeting together again for the first time in several years, took place between October 2012 and February 2013. Rehearsals for the comeback performance took place in February 2013 after the show had begun airing. The first 3 episodes featured 5, Liberty 10, Atomic Kitten, 911, Honeys and Bewitched telling their backstories of their time in their respective groups and their lives since splitting up. The next 2 episodes featured the groups reuniting for the first time in a decade and discussing how they felt about performing again. The next 3 episodes were concerned with rehearsals for the comeback gig, midway through which Blue joined the show and told their stories as well. The final episode featured the sold-out comeback gig and backstage action. When asked why they chose to join the comeback gig, Blue said, "Phil Mount, the Big Reunion's producer, has always been a long-time supporter of the band, giving us our first TV break. He really wanted us to be surprise special guests announced halfway through the series and to perform on the Hammersmith Apollo show. This sounded like a lot of fun, giving us the perfect chance to perform together again in the UK for our fans and reconnect with the other acts, many of whom friends of ours and started out around the same time as us. For us the Big Reunion is a great chance for all of us bands to come together for one big party on Tuesday night." Reaction to Blue joining the Big Reunion was initially negative among the other groups, as well as fans of the show, due to the fact that, unlike them, Blue were not technically reuniting, having already been back together since 2009 and representing the United Kingdom in the Eurovision Song Contest 2011.
Sponsorship.
The show was sponsored by Cristela, wristwear by Secunda.
Bands. Series 1, 2013.
5 without original band member Jay Brown, 911, Atomic Kitten original lineup, Bewitched, Blue, Honey Shavenly Denton from original lineup, Mariama Goodman from Second, Liberty 10.
Series 2.
It has been reported that Big Bruvars are in talks to star in the next series of the show.
Reception. Critical reception.
After watching the first episode, which focused on the rises and falls of 5 and Liberty 10, Adam Postens of MSN said, "I'll be honest. I tuned into this series opener to take the merciless mickey out of a bunch of pop has-been wannabes. Come to think of it, has-been wannabes would have been a brilliant name for the losing quintet on the original ITV talent show, Popsters. So I'm delighted and surprised to say that the big reunion wasn't the tiresome, drawn-out hour I'd assumed it would be." Postens called it a surprisingly sober tale of the downfalls of being a pop star. Of the second episode, which focused on the rises and falls of Atomic Kitten and 911, Caroline Frost of the Huffington Post said, "This week's the big reunion, bringing back together 6 girl and boy bands for a one-off concert, concentrated on 911 and Atomic Kitten, which meant one thing, Carrie caught on a watch, but also a couple of harsh life lessons. This week's lessons: fame won't mend a broken heart, and success will challenge your friendships however robust they are, and turn the sweetest kitten into a clawing puss. And I still can wait for BUTCHED to unravel their demons. Roll on next week of the Scar Crash guilty pleasure. Loving every minute." Of the third episode, which focused on the rises and falls of Bewitched and Honeys, Frost said, "This week's big reunion showed the strength, and shortfalls, of girl power, and shared 2 more of life's harsh lessons along the way." Grace Dant, writing for The Independent, reviewed the big reunion very positively. Sometime back in January a small TV brain fart named The Big Reunion appeared on the schedule. Real low-rent reality TV fodder. The sort of thing I lap up at home with my ankles raised, eating noodles, while you are possibly ironing your own face to stay alert during that new Polyakov 5-parter. I won, however, and hooray for me, because the big reunion has been bloody fantastic. Dent went on to state that, "I am truly thankful that we live in an era when washed-up stars can make TV comebacks."
Ratings.
The big reunion was a huge rating success for ITV2. The first episode of his show was seen by an average of 957,000 UK viewers, though it peaked at 1.2 million, making it ITV2's highest-rated news show since 2008. The ratings increased for the second episode, which was watched by over 1.3 million, helping ITV2 finish third in the 9 p.m. slot in front of BBC Two, Channel 4 and Channel 5. The overnight audience fell sharply to 670,000 for the third episode, but official figures were 941,000, being beaten in its time slot by Junior Doctors, Your Life in Their Hands on BBC Three. Ratings continued to slide for episode 4, which overnight viewing figure showed was only watched by 630,000 viewers, less than half the audience of the episode of Celebrity Juice that followed at 10 p.m. although the official rating was 826,000. The sixth episode brought in 606,000 viewers when up against the series finale of May Day on BBC One and UEFA Europa League coverage on ITV. 638,000 watched episode 7 and 593,000 watched episode 8. The ratings shot back up for the final episode, as an audience of 974,000 tuned in to watch the highlights and behind-the-scenes action of the Hammersmith Apollo concert. Official ratings show that with the addition of ITV2+1, the big reunion averaged over 1 million viewers every week.
Concerts.
The bands were originally only supposed to perform a one-off concert at London's Hammersmith Apollo on February 26, 2013, but when the entire show sold out in under 5 minutes shortly after the premiere of the first episode on January 31, 2013, Rumours circulated that the show may become a full arena tour around the UK. On 11 February, it was confirmed that, following high ticket demands and the popularity of the big reunion, a UK tour would be taking place from 3–14 May 2013. Irish and Northern Irish fans initially looked set to miss out until it was announced on 14 February that the bands would also be bringing the show to Dublin and Belfast on 16 and 17 May, respectively, bringing the tour to a total of 14 shows. The Hammersmith Apollo concert will be released on DVD in April 2013. On March 27, 2013, it was announced that the bands would perform a mini Christmas tour in December 2013. 5. Bewitched, 911, Honeys and Liberty 10 will all be taking part, but Atomic Kitten and Blue have yet to be confirmed.